There's a buck. There's a buck. That's a shooter. That's a shooter. They're coming in. They're coming in. All right, so the best part about this deal is we saw him go down over there, so we're not going to have to do a bunch of tracking.
And then I swear I saw the recoil go off, and then I drove off because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Let me see.
Today we're here to talk about nutrient management on the farm, a topic that's very important agronomically to growing crops.
Got him.
And you hit him in the lungs?
That's what we're saying.
Heck yeah.
I'm pretty tickled.
Oh, my man.
I got some stink on my hands from loading it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, big, good mass, 10 point. Came in chasing the doe.
Y'all gonna laugh. That's the buck you were trying to kill on the other stand.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. That's him. That's pretty good.
That worked out good. Yeah. Now that you say that.
Yeah.
Brother, yeah. It was awesome.
Big old buck.
We were sitting out there seeing a bunch of 2.5-year-olds.
I was there.
And I
when
was
you
kind of
shot
getting
him.
long
Did you
faced.
see me?
No, I would.
I
No,
pulled
we
up
were
on the county
we were
road
kind of
and
watching the
I-
deer.
Yeah, I killed a deer, dude.
Uncle Randy?
So I pull up and I'm glassing across there and I see him up in the tree and I see Aaron go.
Don't hurt so bad now.
I was like, they must be filming cutaways. And then I swear I saw the recoil go off and then I drove off because I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Let me see him. God damn.
I know this deer.
Look at that
Yeah, this is
fish.
the one that he was trying to kill over there.
Yeah, but this is the one we seen
Hey.
the last thing this
That's what I'm
morning.
talking about.
Chasing the doe down.
Shotgun one, we've got Aaron Dusek in here from Truglo, good friend of mine. We've always got a big joke with Aaron, you know, if somebody makes a bad shot or misses one, we always say you Duseked it, his last name being Dusek. It's just a joke. Aaron's a great guy, great hunter. I'm so excited that we were able to get Aaron on this giant Illinois whitetail. Awesome buck. You know, his hunt started off that first morning. I told him we were going to try to hunt this deer, but the wind was wrong. It was all wrong to go to that corn patch. So we decided just to punt it, go to a different location, get down in the timber, and try that first morning out. This is a great spot. Big deer in this block of timber, and we thought it might happen there too.
All right, guys. Mike put us in the wolf timber this morning. He killed a nice buck last night, so he was kind enough to let me come in here and try to hunt this 10 point that he's been seeing. We got sleeted on this morning for about the first 45 minutes, so we're kind of drying out now. Things are getting still. We're going to keep our eye out. Hopefully we'll see that guy this morning. What's that? I know I can't get him. He's not. There you go. It's been a good morning. Had a nice buck come through early. 3.5-year-old. He'll be a really good deer next year. Had some does moving around. Didn't see a lot of chasing activity here. We're gonna ease down, slip down through this creek, head back into the lodge, get a quick bite to eat, and head back out and sit for the rest of the afternoon.
Everything's coming together perfect. Wind changed just like we thought. it's right for this corn patch. And then that morning, Randy was sitting about 1,000 yards away, and he watched this buck, the one buck that I told Aaron we wanted to hunt, follow a doe into the bottom right off that corn patch. So if she comes back, odds are super high that this is all going to come together perfect for Aaron. So when we put him out, we knew there was a great chance this was going to happen. Aaron's definitely in the hot seat.
We're back at it. Second day, shotgun season in Illinois on the Grigsby farm. We were out this morning, had some sleet. Went back in, got a bowl of soup. Came back out to sit this evening. Sitting on some corn that hasn't been cut, so hopefully they'll be coming to food tonight. I think tonight's going to be the night. We're going to go get them. Here he comes. Oh, big boy. Okay, there's a buck. There's a buck. There's a buck. I think this one might be a shooter. I know, I can't either. That's a shooter. That's a shooter. They're coming in. They're coming in. He's close. Yo. Oh, he went around the corner. He's behind the corn. Oh, he's coming back around. He's coming back around. As soon as he clears, I'm gonna shoot. like a good mature buck. I'm super excited. He is down. All right, so the best part about this deal is we saw him go down over there, so we're not gonna have to do a bunch of tracking. I wanna go get this baby, put my hands on him, go get the truck, come out here, pick him up, and get him back to the lodge so everybody can see it. I'm psyched about this thing, man. I think he's done. Oh, what a bruiser. What a deer. Oh, look at that guy. That's what you come down on. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Beautiful 10-point. It's got great mass. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Big deer, mature buck. I think Mike's gonna be happy with me. He always seems to come through. I was starting to doubt him a little bit. He tends to garhole me from time to time. We've hunted hard the last 2 days. This morning it was sleeting on us. Deer weren't moving real well. Came out here this afternoon and got on some corn. Had a lot of young bucks coming in. Kind of starting to get a little bit depressed, thinking it wasn't going to happen, and look over. Actually, one of those young bucks spotted him for us. Looked over to my left, and here he comes behind a doe. What a deer. Man. These are a little bigger than the Texas deer that we shoot. All right, well, let's get him tagged. I think we can probably get the truck out here, get him loaded up, and get him back to the lodge. I'm ready to show him off to Mike and Jamie. I was in there cussing you. I was like, he put me in another one of these stands, all these 2.5-year-old deer running around. And I look over, I was like, oh, there we go.
You see how thick see how big that is? That's what I'm talking about. Ain't no mistake.
Got it done, Rick. My hands are got that good stuff on there.
Like he's not going to have it on him in a minute anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Today we're here to talk about nutrient management on the farm, a topic that's very important agronomically to growing crops. That decision begins with determining which farming system it applies to. We run parallel systems here at the Grigsby, and those two systems are our regenerative system, where we're using conventional farming methods, and then our organic system, where we're using strictly organic compounds. When fertilizing our crops, we use various products comprised of macronutrients. Those are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The nitrogen source can be either synthetic fertilizer, primarily here it's anhydrous ammonia, or if it's an organic system, then we're using the manure that's produced here on the farm.
This week we've been busy with running anhydrous and some other activities as well. But this is the time of year that we're able to put our strips down for the 2020 crop. Behind me we've got an 8370 tractor pulling a 24-row progressive anhydrous applicator. 24 rows, you know, it allows us to be pretty efficient and cover a lot of acres at once. It's a minimal disturbance bar, which helps reduce the disturbance in the soil. So essentially the knife is going to just go through the soil and you know, inject the anhydrous about 6 to 8 inches deep and just leave you know, about a 4-inch strip that we will go back to in the spring with our planters and plant on right on top of the strip. So we're back here at the progressive bar anhydrous applicator that we have. How the flow works, or how the process works, anhydrous ammonia is in these tanks behind me. They are essentially in a liquid form under pressure. And as the liquid of anhydrous flows through the lines, The friction on the lines and stuff causes the liquid to turn into vapor, which is the reason for the heat exchangers, which is the two white tubes on top of the bar up here. And this essentially keeps the liquid in a liquid form to that point and distributed to each row. And then as it's put into the ground is when it turns into a vapor form then. But each row is injected with the anhydrous. The coulters behind it essentially is what firms up the strip and allows the anhydrous to seal. So if you don't have the anhydrous sealing in the strip, then that's a bad deal and you're losing what you're putting on. So you always want to make sure that you have your bar set and your coulter set to where the anhydrous is sealing into the ground so that it will be there and will be there through the winter and until next spring and next summer when the crop needs it.
No matter what type of fertilizer products we're using, whether it be synthetic or organic, our main motivation is to implement good nutrient stewardship here on the farm, which is really driven by the principles of the 4 R's, which is right rate, right source, right placement, and right timing for not only the agronomic benefits, but primarily for the environmental benefits that exhibit good stewardship that drive all the practices here at the farm. Yeah, the amounts of fertilizer products we're using are really driven by an agronomic decision as to how much that crop is actually going to need to optimize yield. The timing of the application of the input, fertilizer input, is driven really by when that plant is most going to need it. So we try to spoon feed the crop, which is environmentally sustainable, but also agronomically important to the crop to optimize yield. The placement of the fertilizer input is really determined by a couple things. One is the timing of when we're applying it. So at planting time, we're using starter fertilizers in furrow and on each side of the seed furrow. And that's to really, in the early growth stages, to provide the needed nutrients to get a quick and vigorous early growth to the plant. And then later in the season, we're coming back with a nitrogen fertilizer and some sulfur to in season when the crop has got its highest nitrogen needs. And so much of what we do is again determined by what agronomically and environmentally is going to be best for the crop.